Hey y'all boys, what's good? It's your boy Mar back in the video, and y'all boys today, I know you see a title, man. Today we'll be reviewing Iron Man 1. As we all know, Iron Man is the start off to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we know today, and this movie is actually pretty good. We start off our story in Kannur Province, Afghanistan, and I actually like how the story is being told in media res because it's a pretty interesting way to go about the movie. We start off showing Tony getting kidnapped and everything, but then we flash back to how we get to that point and everything unfolds. It's actually pretty cool to look back on these movies and see how vulnerable Tony was in this situation, because he could have literally died. Like, Tony could have died in this scene, and everything that happens later with the Avengers and everything and just the whole universe would not be how it was today. Now, after Tony's heart explodes, we go back and we finally see how we even get to this point in the movie in the first place. There's this little war show, and of course, you know, Tony doesn't show up because Tony's working.
He's always working.
Another thing this movie makes sure that they do is show how much of a whore Tony is in the beginning of this movie.
Be prepared to lose a few with you.
Why are you just touching Tony Stark's shit, bro? I like the little shade that Pepper gives this reporter because she thinks she's like just a bigger person than Pepper for something, when she just got slutted out by Tony Stark,
including occasionally taking out the trash. Will that be all?
I think the chemistry between Tony and Pepper are like just great throughout the whole series, but even in the beginning of the movie, their first ever scene together, their chemistry was already pretty good. They really show how careless Tony is in this movie, at least in the beginning, because he takes literally nothing seriously. I like how during Tony's Jericho launch in the speech, he says the bad guys won't even want to come out of their caves. That's just great foreshadowing, in my opinion. RDJ's acting during the scene of him finding out what was going on with his heart was crazy, because like the audience, like us ourselves, we had no idea like what happened to his heart. We just saw him bleeding, and he has this car battery tied to his body. The whole reason that the 10 Rings kidnapped Tony was because they wanted him to build the Jericho missile that he shows earlier in the movie. But of course, Tony is not going to build the missile for them, so they like drown him and stuff, take him outside. And then I like how they show his weapons are being used by people that shouldn't even have his weapons in the first place, and it really just gives him a different perspective on what his weapons were being used for. Of course, the chemistry between Tony and Jensen was just great the whole time. I like this little character moment between Tony and Jensen when they're having a convo about their families, because we find out that both of them don't really have like anyone like else in their lives anymore. Because like Jensen says to see his family when he leaves here, but like he just knew that he was never leaving here without dying, which is honestly kind of depressing. This scene is just iconic, man. I really love the scene where Tony starts using this big ass suit, because it's just shot so well, because everyone's just scared because they don't even know what like this big suit of armor even is. Can somebody please explain to me what this dude thought was gonna happen when he got that close to the suit just to shoot it in the head instead of the inside of like the eyes or something? Jensen making the great sacrifice and then saying this is always the plan, Stark. I don't know why, but Jensen dying, like being a part of Tony's whole journey, is just great. So Tony gets saved, and then I just love this little thing that Marvel did where when Tony first gets back, the first thing he wants is to get a cheeseburger. And for the people that know the story, that's a part of like RDJ's actual like situation in real life. He was a druggie, he had everything going on, you know what I'm saying? He was doing bad things with drugs, and then he went to Burger King one day and had a terrible cheeseburger because Burger King's dog shit. Don't at me. This is my first time rewatching the MCU after seeing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a great show, by the way. I believe you guys should watch it. So anytime seeing Coulson honestly just warms my heart. I like this little push in the character where Tony shuts down all the weapons just because he saw how they were being used like in Afghanistan. It's just a great thing for the character. I love how Tony and Pepper are literally arguing during them playing Operation on his body. But like I said before, the chemistry throughout this whole movie is just great. And you can honestly tell how much fun they had just in this scene alone.
Pepper, I've been called many things. Nostalgic is not one of them.
Well, you are now, buddy. We need more scenes like this in CBMs where we actually see our characters building stuff and failing in the beginning, because I don't know, just the process of everything happening and seeing how they failed and like how they got better at it, it's just cool. I like how Tony talks to the robots like they're real people. Obviously, Jarvis is an AI that communicates back with him, but I'm talking about like even the robots that literally will not say anything back to him. Tony's first time being able to test out flying, and then the next thing he does is he wants to fly in the sky, bruh.
Jarvis, sometimes you gotta run before you can walk.
I kind of like how Tony tests the limitations of his suit in just his first flight. Like, he literally tries to break records in his first flight, which is honestly insane. The way that they did this first flight was actually perfect. Well, you know, except for like the landing.
Kill power.
It's actually so crazy how this scene gets brought back around later down the line with the proof that Tony Stark has a heart. Tony showing up to the benefit just because people didn't expect him to go. It's just such a Tony thing to do. Once again, they show how much of a whore Tony Stark is, because as soon as he pulls up to the benefit, there's a woman that says, "Remember me?" and bro says, "Sure don't." You for sure slutted her out, my brother. Like, I know you clapped, my boy. Stan Lee, the GOAT. Tony and Pepper's first dance together is like kind of funny because they're both just acting so awkward, and Pepper doesn't want to be seen like she's just one of the girls on Tony's roster, which is understandable. It's crazy how Tony literally wasn't taking this woman serious at all until she tells him about everything that's happening in Gomera, which is when the movie actually starts getting really, really good. I'm not gonna lie, man. The like nostalgic and just like the CGI of this first suit up scene still holds up well, like insanely well with today's standards. I don't think that they could have done that scene any better. Tony's first fight scene is actually really great. There are people in trouble and he believes he's partially responsible for it, so he just goes there and handles business. This shot of Tony walking away is just cool. It's just cool. Like, I have nothing else to say about it. It's just cool. This phone call with Rhodey and Tony was just great because Tony is clearly lying and Rhodey just picks up on it every single time. Technically, this is Tony's only like second time flying, and to be honest, he's doing pretty good. This movie does a thing where like they'll say lines and then they'll just cut to the exact opposite of the scene, which like I just like it. I can't tell you why, but I just do.
Training exercise, isn't that the usual BS?
It's not that simple. An unfortunate training exercise involving an F-22 Raptor occurred yesterday.
The twist of Obadiah was kind of predictable, but I wasn't really mad at it. But I think this is the sort of things that I don't really like in this movie. Obadiah just turned this insanely evil. I don't know why. It just didn't work for me. Like, did you have to blick them like that?
I shouldn't be alive unless it was for a reason. I'm not crazy, Pepper. I just finally know what I have to do. And I know in my heart that it's right.
Wow, man. Tony's art through this whole movie alone has been crazy. The scene where Pepper finds out what Obadiah did, there's like a lot of tension through that scene because you know that he's lying about everything that he's saying, but you have no idea if he knows what Pepper is doing and what he'll do if he finds out that she's doing that. I love how Pepper only escapes because of Coulson. I don't know. That's just great. Like I said, watch AOS. Coulson's great. The iconic Obadiah stain scene.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
I'm sorry. I'm not Tony Stark.
To be honest, I actually really liked Obadiah in this scene. He really made it seem like Tony was in danger and he was talking crazy to him while doing it. Pepper tells Rhodey about everything that's happening, and then Rhodey goes to the house and, you know, helps Tony and everything. And then, you know, Rhodey will be here next time.
Next time, baby.
I just don't like how overly evil Obadiah was out of nowhere. Like, bro, just put the family down, man. This motherfucker said collateral damage. Buddy, you are the one making them collateral damage. Why are you throwing them? Why did he just kill that dude like that? Why did he punch him like that? Now, I'll admit, this is insanely nitpicky, but I also just hate how Obadiah like sounds in the suit. I don't know why. I like how Tony turns the table of this fight by just being smarter and having more experience than Obadiah when it came like to the icing problem. The fact that Tony was willing to sacrifice himself even in the first movie, wow, just great, man. Also, Pepper surviving this is kind of fucking crazy. Like, how did she survive this? I like how Coulson literally gives Tony an alibi, but of course Tony's not taking orders from anybody at all. I love the last scene we get of Tony and Pepper in this movie because it seems like Tony's trying to settle down, like he actually sees stuff in Pepper that he didn't see before, and like he's telling this whole story about like the night that they dance and stuff like that. But then Pepper just shuts it down because she tells her POV of how the whole night went, and then you realize Tony really did just leave her up there. And then, of course, these motherfuckers really had the audacity to end this movie like this.
I am Iron Man.
It's just a perfect ending, man. Then they give us a post-credit scene with Nick Fury coming to Iron Man about the Avenger Initiative. That's just a great way to start the universe, man. I'm gonna give this movie an 8.8 out of 10. And I know y'all are like, so what's stopping it from being a 9? Because of something my guy Cosmo would like to say as ERJB.
Evil robot Jeff Bridges problem, or the ERJB for short.
I really just feel like that like ruins it from becoming a even better movie. But like I said, man, the movie's still great. It was a great way to start the universe, and I'm glad this is the way we started it off. If y'all like this review and y'all want to see more, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, share to your friends, share to your family. I will be doing the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, and if there's any other movies y'all want me to do, let me know in the comment section down below. Sub to my other channel, link is in the description down below. Should have my Loki season 2 episode 1 reaction up by then, and if it is, that also be in the description down below if you're interested. Y'all boys make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and make sure to always trust the process. And then they give us a post-credit scene with Nick Fury coming to Iron about the Avenger Initiative. Whoa.